summer, synonymous with Big Brother. Welcome to the first episode of the B2M2 podcast. I'm Michael Hoad, joined by my co-host Mitchell Machtinger, as I will be all summer as we discuss everything Big Brother. How's it going today, Mitch?
I'm doing good. I'm pretty excited for the new season. A lot of new twists, which we'll get into later. But it'll be another good summer of Big Brother.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe that it's already upon us again. I mean, it seems like yesterday Andy took home the prize, and can't believe we're already at that time of year again. Anyway, so today we'll discuss some of the twists the new season has in store and make our draft picks. First, though, we'll take a quick look at the house itself. This year, we have an urban treehouse theme. The walls are all wood, with wallpaper showing pictures of clouds to make the house guests feel like they're outside. I don't know if that's really going to do anything. I mean, it's still a house, you're still indoors, but who knows? People are crazy in there. They'll have green couches and a wood coffee table in the living room, keeping with the sort of outdoor woodsy theme. But every room has a different theme. The communal bedroom is known as the Earth Room, and that's pretty cool looking. They have pillows on the beds that look like rocks. Julie Chen seemed pretty pleased about those. Then they have the Fire Bedroom, which is probably where most of the hookups are bound to form. There aren't twin beds in this room. This room only has 3 double beds. So you know people are going to snuggle up nice and close early on. Could lead to some showmances. The Beehive Room is where a lot of the strategic talk will probably take place. Clever name for it, as the house guests will be buzzing like bees in here. Well done to whoever came up with that one. There's also a photo booth in this room, which should make for some great drunk photos and provide some laughs if you're into that sort of thing. Now, the HOH room has a bed in it that looks like a bird's nest. I must say, at first glance, I'm not a fan of it. If you're tall, it doesn't really look like you'll fit into it very easily. I'd way rather just have a nice queen-sized bed. Finally, above everything else is a loft-type area with a chessboard and a view of the whole house. This seems like a great spot to talk strategy because you can see if anyone is about to come up. I'd probably spend most of my time up here if I was in there. And they have 76 cameras this year, which is 11 more than last season, so fans of the live feeds are going to love that. Any quick first impressions on the house, Mitch?
Well, first off, right on the cameras, this is going to be the first season that they're filming in HD, which will be nice to view. It'll give wider shots and, I guess, capture more of the theme of the house. But looking over the pictures of the house, my question is, how much does it cost these guys each year to redo the entire house? I mean, they redo the floors, the kitchen, the walls. I mean, it's CBS and Big Brother, one of their biggest shows, so I'm sure the budget's there, but it's staggering to see that every year. And for the double beds, taking a page out of Big Brother Canada, I mean, they have the space to put the single beds, but I guess putting 2 people together in one bed is a quick way to create a drama.
Oh yeah, that fire room should have some good stuff in store. Do you like how the stuff looks in there?
Yeah, I mean, I personally, if I had to live in there for 3 months, I don't know how I would do it with all those bright colors and crazy things on the walls and stuff. But I guess for them, they got to do it. So.
Yeah, I mean, overall, seeing the pictures, I like how it looks. I think some of the stuff's pretty neat. But, you know, we'll see how it looks once everyone gets in there and the inevitable mess happens. So, moving on, this year we have 2 new twists in Big Brother. The first one is America's team. That one is sort of under wraps for now. Don't know exactly how that's going to play out. We could see something like the MVP from last season, which, I don't know, Alyssa Riley just cleaned up because of her sister. We could have a similar situation this year with Frankie Grande, the brother of Ariana Grande, who is singer of One Less Problem, smash summer hit.
One of my favorite tunes of the summer.
Oh, for sure. So, I mean, her following could influence it if that's the case. I don't know how else they do that. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, usually when they leave it up to America's vote, it ends up being the same player over and over every week. And the first person I thought of was Frankie with his sister. And also, apparently, he's a huge guy celebrity on YouTube. I've never seen him personally, but that always gets people votes. So
yeah, I saw something that has like 500,000 followers already, and the show hasn't even aired. So who knows? Once he gets on screen, he'll get even more. Next, we have the dual HOH system and the Battle of the Block that will come from that. I've heard a couple things about this dual HOH. First one is that it's just a normal layout of the house. Everyone's living together, one side. But 2 HOHs are crowned. They each nominate 2 people. And then the 2 HOHs square off in a duel type thing to determine who stays HOH and who keeps their nominations. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Yeah, I think one of the big things on the summer is that everyone's saying that the HOH isn't guaranteed safety. So somehow with the battle of the block between the 4 nominees and the 2 HOHs, there's definitely going to be a big switch up between who's in charge and who ends up being on the block after all is said and done.
For sure. There's also a rumor floating out there that the house is going to be split in 2. I mean, they have 2 memory walls in the house, so they could divide the house guests somehow. I've heard boys versus girls, even heroes, villains, but I don't think that's going to be the case. And then each HOH from each side will nominate 2 people from the opposing side. So that would be interesting, but I mean, I like Big Brother just the way it is. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah, I mean, with the 2 memory walls, that was one of the ideas that was being floated around. But taking a page out of the challenge free agents, it'd be interesting to see, just because you're on one side of the wall doesn't mean that's your team every week. Maybe the teams switch up every week, so you're not guaranteed safety with the same group, and instead you have to put your reach out to the whole house, have a very good social game to make sure that you can be safe no matter who's in charge or what team has the power that week.
Yeah, that'd be cool, that the social game, like you said, would really have to step up. You can't make any enemies because you never know who's going to be on your team every week. I'd like that idea. So, moving on, Mitch and I are going to draft players onto our teams for this season of Big Brother. We've come up with a draft point system. So, for winning HOH, if your person wins, you get 10 points. If they win a veto competition, you get 7 points. If you're nominated for eviction one week, it's -3. If you get taken off the block, you get +3. Surviving an eviction while on the block, 3 points. Unanimous eviction, this one could lead to a big fluctuation in points. If you're unanimously evicted, you would subtract the number of votes that you were evicted by. So say the vote was 8-0, you'd lose 8 points, and that could be a game changer. If you're named America's Player, again, we don't really know what that's going to be yet, but you get 3 points. First person evicted, no one likes to have that title, so we're taking away 5 if you own the person who gets evicted first. If you win the Battle of the Block, again, not too sure what that means, but we're going to give it 5 points for now. Being a have-not for the week, -1, it's not that big a deal. Making it to jury, 10 points. Making it to the final 4, 15 points. Second place, 20 points. And first place, 30. So you can see it's really based on winning competitions. But if you have someone who's not really a comp threat, so to speak, they still can rack up the points by going far. I mean, if you get to the final 2, your person's racking up 45 points on their own without winning a thing.
Yeah, so it's interesting. When I was doing the power rankings, I was struggling between who I thought would actually win versus who I thought would get the most points. So you have to come up with a good combination of the 2.
For sure. And, these twists, we're not too sure what they are yet. So this is just sort of a rough outline of what the point system's going to be. Once the show actually airs, we can see what these twists are exactly, and maybe we'll adjust point values based on that. So to determine our draft order, Mitch and I both, I think, have the same first pick. So we were thinking of doing a simple coin flip, but what's the fun in that? So we're going to play a game of high, low, red, black to determine the first overall pick. Mitch, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Go first, okay. So how this works is I'm going to flip a card over, have a deck of standard 52 cards. First card showing a 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs, Mitch has to decide if he wants to go higher, lower, or red or black on the 10 of clubs.
I'll go lower.
It's the 10 of diamonds. We'll give you the mulligan since it's the same
perfect card. Let's keep it red.
Great call. Queen of diamonds comes up on the flip. Higher, low, red, black, Mitch.
Lower. Good percentage for lower.
He's playing the percentages, and it comes through. 7 of spades on the table.
7's right in the middle. I'll go red.
Wow, beautiful call. Hits the 4 of hearts.
Bang.
It's looking good.
4, got to go up. It's going to be higher.
big card.
Ooh.
2 of spades comes up. Mitch sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the mark to beat for me. We'll give those a quick shuffle. 5 cards.
Okay,
All
so
right.
for Michael, his first card, the 3 of spades.
3, I've got to go higher on that.
It's a good call. Ace of hearts.
Ace of hearts, beautiful. Other end of the spectrum, I'm going lower.
Ace of diamonds. He gave me a mulligan. I'll give him one also.
Thanks for returning the favor. Now it's definitely got to be lower.
Okay. The 3 of hearts.
Yes, loving my draws. I got to go higher on the 3.
Jack of clubs.
Clubs, okay.
Is this the tie? This is to break the tie?
Tricky.
Or is there one more?
1, 2, 3, 4. No, I need one more to tie it up. Jack of clubs showing. It's a face card. I've got to go lower.
4 of spades. You're getting all the good draws.
I know. Getting lucky here.
Switch it up. Go for a red or black.
Go for a color. I can't take that on the 4, Mitch. I'm going higher.
10 of hearts.
10.
That's it. First pick for you.
Secures the first pick. That's what I like to see. Good game.
Yes.
Well done. So, with the first overall draft pick in the B2M2 podcast, Michael Hoad selects Cody. Cody is off the board. I have him down as ultra competitive, although in his interview he seemed pretty subdued, so I'm hoping he can hide that but still bring it in the contest. He's athletic looking. Interesting that he's a salesman, so hopefully that can factor into his social game. He should be able to convince people. From watching interviews, he seemed pretty modest, seemed like a nice guy. He's single and good looking, so he said he is open to a showmance, and he wants a partner in this game, which I like to see. Peter and Alec from Big Brother Canada, one of my favorite duos of all time, so I'm hoping Cody can find someone like that. What are your thoughts on that pick, Mitch?
Yeah, I also had him as number 1. I feel he has a good sort of all-around strategy. I feel he'll have a strong social game and be able to do well with both the men and the women in the house.
All right.
So my second pick, just switched this up before we started. I'm going to take Zach. I feel like Zach is very similar to Cody. Young guy, 23-year-old college grad. I was a bit suspect to him because he said his favorite cast member was Andy from last season. Oh, so I'm not too sure how long he's watched the show or why Andy would be his favorite.
You picked the winner, though.
Yeah, he did pick the winner. So, I mean, again, very similar to Cody. So if Cody doesn't do well, I feel like I have the second best player.
Okay, I had Zach pretty far down my list, actually. I mean, he's unemployed, which it means he can give his all to this game.
He just graduated from college, though.
He did. Fair enough. He said he only cares about the money, which I think actually is an advantage. A lot of these people were saying that, the money might be secondary to how they're perceived on the show. So I do like that Zach's out there and got his eye on the prize. And, he's a good-looking guy, so that could take him a ways. All right, Cody and Zach off the board. That moves me to my second pick. I am going with Derek. Derek is an undercover cop, which, speaks for itself, really. He should be able to sort of morph himself into whatever can fit, and then study people, learn their tendencies, and then use that against them. He's married with a young daughter at home, so, he'll be motivated to get that money for them. However, the one knock on him, he said that he's not willing to do, anything. So, if there's a sticky situation he finds himself in, he might take the moral high ground, which might not be good for my game. But he played baseball in college, so he should be a pretty athletic dude.
Yeah, I had him as my third overall. The one thing I can think of that strikes me right away is being a police officer on one of these shows. Usually with police officers and teachers that they usually lie about their profession because they're always afraid about how they'll be perceived by their teammates or the other members on the show, I guess. So I'm curious to see how he goes about that in his strategy.
Yeah, for sure. Tony from Survivor, he lied for a bit. Derek, I'm sure he's not going to reveal that he's a cop, especially an undercover one to the rest of the housemates.
So with the next pick, I'm actually going to take a female. It's interesting, in the history of Big Brother, a woman has never won in the finals two when they have faced off against a man. If they've only won when there's been another woman in the finals. I think it was Danielle Reyes who said it was something along the lines of girls can't win against a guy in the finals because they're often seen as the bitch. They always take that role, or that it looks like the man took them to the finals and they couldn't get there themselves. So I think right away that automatically increases the chances of a guy winning. But for some reason with this cast, I feel there's a vibe I'm getting that a woman will be able to pull it off this season. So with that said, my second pick, I'm going with Christine. She's 23, she's married, she's fluent in sign language, so it shows that she can pay attention to detail, which would help her social game and also her memory in those challenges. She also had 3 favorite players in her bio. I didn't really like that. I feel like you got to make up your mind on your favorite. So that was a red flag for me, but I feel of the female, she has the best overall game.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Christine, just on first impressions as well. I had her as my second girl, 4th overall. Yeah, she said she's a big strategist, which I like. I like those players. Her strategy that she revealed in one of her interviews, and we'll see if she sticks to it, is to form this sort of large alliance, and then within that alliance, break off into 1 or 2 people that she can really trust. And I think that's a good way to play. So
with that strategy, though, if you play both sides too much, you get caught in the middle, and other house guests don't like that.
She'll have to maneuver around that. Okay, that moves us along to my third selection. I'm also taking a woman. That was the fun fact there about women never winning when sitting next to a man. Thanks for sharing that one. I'm taking Brittany. She's a good-looking woman. From her interviews, she seems very, very well-spoken. She could use words to her advantage, keep people in her back pocket like that. She has 3 kids. Again, that'll give her motivation for the money. And I don't usually like this, but she said she's only a recent fan of Big Brother. But, in a season with all these twists, I think having this fresh perspective might actually serve her well. I mean, if your mind is too cluttered with how to play other seasons, you might not adapt to these twists. So I like that she hasn't been watching for too long.
Yeah, it said in her bio that she once faked labor to get out of a speeding ticket, which is a funny story. I think shows that she's willing to lie and she doesn't really care about the consequences of it. So that could definitely help her in the game. So my next pick, I'm going to take Caleb.
Ooh.
26-year-old adventure hunting guide from Texas. He's a war veteran for the U.S. Army, and I think overall, usually the young guys seem to do pretty well, so I feel like he'll get me a lot of points in competitions, and I feel like he can make it a decent way in the game.
Yeah, that was going to be my next pick, so nice scoop there. He is an athletic guy. But, I mean, I heard some of his strategy going in, which I like that he's thinking like that. He said he wants to be what he called a bobber. So he gave this big analogy of a fishing hook and the bobber on top. Maybe that's because he's the hunting guide. He likes that kind of stuff. So what he means by being a bobber is he'll team up with someone, and he'll be the bobber, and his teammate will be the hook. So the hook is the guy that the fish gets pissed off at because he's the one hurting the fish. Whereas Caleb will just sit on top. He'll have his hands in it, but he won't be the one getting the blood on his hands. So I do like that pick. I have heard that he had some homophobic, racist remarks before going on the show. So, he might rub people the wrong way. But I still think he'll go far.
Is it too late to add no blood on the hands to the point system? How many times people will say that this season?
Ooh, we might have to for the next episode.
It's always a Big Brother key phrase.
So Caleb is off the board. Throws a wrench in my plans here. I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here and take Joey. And Joey is a female player, despite the name. She's a makeup artist. She says that she gets along with women very well. We'll see if that holds true. A lot of times the women just get pissed at each other. But Joey says she's not catty at all. So if she can get in with the women, she seems kind of like a guy's girl as well. So we'll see how she does.
Yeah, she's 27. So I think she's one of the older females in the house. I actually had her ranked pretty low. I just don't see a lot of point potential, but I think she could make it sort of a middle-of-the-pack player. She said her favorite player was Gina Marie, and that she's moving in the house with a bag of different color hair dyes. So I don't know exactly how much her focus will be on the game. And again, with the favorite player from last season wasn't exactly the strongest of all-star seasons for Big Brother. So I'm interested to see how she does.
One more thing. She said that she wants to be the nicest winner in Big Brother history.
That's a tough motto to follow.
All right, Mitch, you're on the clock.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the females as well. I'm going to go with Amber, 26-year-old esthetician. Just based off first impressions, I feel like she's definitely one of the leading females in the house. It could rub some of the other girls the wrong way. Girls seem to get like that in the house. They're very argumentative, I guess. But if she can play her cards right and maybe team up with the guys, I guess, then they can probably keep her safe.
Yeah, Amber's someone I had pretty low just because, she's very attractive. That could lead to some jealous girls in the house. She said she wants an all-girls alliance. I don't know if that's going to pan out. I don't see it panning out, but good pick. I like it. Okay, up to me now. I am going with Hayden. Hayden is a little bit of a wild card for me. He looks like a surfer guy. He's got a cool hat. Funny, his name is Hayden Voss. Previously, there's been a winner, Hayden Moss. Maybe that had to do something to do with the casting for him. He thinks that he'll be good at challenges. He doesn't really look like he's the most athletic dude out there, which could lead to his advantage. He could surprise people in the challenges. I have him down as a potential floater. I don't know. I have a good feeling about him. Seems like a nice guy. People might not see him as a threat. He kind of, based on first impressions, he kind of reminds me of McRae last year.
Really, I got the vibe of Frank from 2 seasons ago.
Okay.
Sorry, BB14, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm taking Hayden.
Yeah, I also had him ranked middle of the pack. I agree he's going to be a bit of a wild card. I could see him going either way. He moved to LA without knowing anybody, so I think that indicates he has a strong social game. But again, it's with being sort of a surfer dude, it's tough to see how that translates into Big Brother. So my next pick, I'm going to go with Paola. I hope I'm saying that right.
We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah. So she's a 27-year-old DJ. She in her bio, it said she had a big mouth, which if she's able to tone that down and keep that quiet, I guess, it would be to her benefit because if you're loud and outspoken, especially really early in the game, it puts a huge target on your back, and it could be hard to win that way, so that could be her downfall.
Yeah, I've got Paola as a sleeper as well. She says she doesn't have a good memory, but I don't know. Those kinds of competitions sometimes don't happen until later on in the season. She says she wants to lie low for the first 2 weeks, so hopefully she'll be able to hide that big mouth she says she has. And
that's a good strategy. The first 2 weeks, you don't want to draw any attention to yourself.
I like it. So, moving on, I am going to take Devin. Devin just looks like a competition beast, so I'm hoping he can rack up a lot of points while he's in the house.
So you're saying he looks like a threat, is what you're saying?
He looks like a threat. I don't know how long he'll last exactly. He depends on the alliances he forms. He's probably going to get targeted pretty quickly, but he looks like he has the ability to just clean up challenges, and I'm hoping I can get maximum points from him while he's still in the house. I'm just hoping he doesn't try to throw challenges, because we saw that with Howard last year. This guy was just a huge guy, tank, biceps like crazy, and he just tried to be total trash in competitions, but obviously everyone saw right through that. So I'm hoping Devin actually brings it.
Yeah, one of the knocks against him, why I had him ranked number 10, is because of that freakish athleticism. I think he's definitely the most athletic in the house, and I feel like people will be intimidated by that and want to get him out early, especially if he starts to do really well in challenges. He says he was 6'2" by the time he was 12 years old, so that's automatically a plus in my books, and I'm also super jealous of it. So with that said, next up on my rankings is Nicole.
Ooh.
I feel like she's a sleeper in this game. She has Ian's, the winner from a couple seasons ago, the seal of approval from Ian, and she also said that she wants to have a showmance with Ian. So those two, I think, go for her because she obviously knows who a good player in the game is and wants to model herself after that. And also, she says she's been watching the show since she was 8, and I can relate to that with Survivor. I've seen every season since I was probably around the same age. So I feel like that's one of the reasons that drew me to Nicole.
Yeah, Nicole was originally someone I had pretty low, but I mean, as I started tinkering and tinkering with this, she kept moving up the list. I mean, she looks a lot like Erin from last year, but she doesn't seem like she's the same. She's a nurse, so she's obviously got the brains behind her. And her strategy going in is to form a secret alliance with a strong guy, and then maybe form alliances on top of that. So that'll be interesting to watch if she holds to that plan. I'm gonna take. This is a tough one. I'm gonna take Frankie.
Oh, that was my sleeper.
Man.
I had him up next.
Yeah, well, he's still low for me, but I mean, after we've been talking about how he could rack up the points for America's player, I mean, that's just too good to pass up. He's a flamboyant personality, brother of Ariana Grande, like we said. He says he's afraid of being recognized going into the house. I thought that was a little BS, but then I looked and saw that he actually has those 500,000 followers, so who knows, maybe someone will recognize him in there. But I couldn't pass up on the potential points there.
Yeah, somehow with these relations to celebrities or past players, the players always seem to know or find out somehow, so that could be a knock against him. But I agree with the point system for America's player. I had him ranked a bit lower, but I bumped him up before we started because of those potential points. I don't know much about the casting process and how these guys get on the show, but when people who are related to other famous people, I guess, are able to get on the show, it bothers me a bit because I feel like it takes away from like the big fans and the people who apply every year. But that's just me. So I think he can go pretty far. I mean, the flamboyant gay guy in the house always seems to do pretty well. So we'll see. I mean, I'm disappointed about the point potential that I just lost there, but that's the way it goes, right? So,
all right, getting down to the last few picks here.
Yeah, I realize I have a lot of women on my team. I mean, there's only 3 players left, so I guess I'll stick with the women and go with Victoria, 22-year-old photographer from Brooklyn via Holon, Israel. I don't know if she's related to Bar Raffaelli, who shares the last name, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, and maybe still thing of Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, I can actually sort of relate to this. I have a bit of a story with it. I've been to Holon in Israel, and when I was there last summer, I watched Big Brother. It was all in Hebrew, and I had no idea what was going on or what they were saying, but for some reason, just being able to watch the show named Big Brother like really drew me to it. From what I was told, the show works really differently, where people come into the house in the middle of the season, and sometimes there's 2 houses and they merge into one. So, I mean, I don't know when she came to New York and sort of what she's seen from the other show, but maybe that could be an advantage for her somehow. I'm not sure how it would relate, but yeah, that's my pick, Victoria.
Victoria, I like it. She's in her casting video. She said she seems naive, but she is not. I mean, I like that. She kind of reminds me of Neda from Big Brother Canada. She could sort of fly under the radar a bit, but really have that strategic mind. And in my opinion, Neda should have won Big Brother Canada. So
the game's the game. I do agree she would have won, but
I think Victoria has the potential to really go a long way and have a big hand in who wins if she doesn't win. So I guess we're down to
I think we shared the same two bottom two.
the final two here. I'm gonna go with my good man Donnie here. This guy has a big beard. He's 42. He's the oldest guy in the house. He seems like a nice guy. He says he's not a good liar, which I don't know how that'll translate into the Big Brother house. He says he's too honest. Another knock on him is that he says he lives alone. So sharing a house with 15 other people, and it'll get messy in there for sure. We'll see how he does with that. But Donnie, yeah. I'm hoping his niceness can carry him pretty far.
I think he has a lot of floater potential.
Yeah.
He said his favorite player was Spencer. If you look at a picture of this guy and you hear him talk, you can see why. But I can't see him getting many points or doing anything super significant in the house.
No.
So that leaves me with the last pick. Still happy to have her on my team. Jocasta, she's a 33-year-old minister. If she plays it right, she said she won't, but she could use it to her advantage, because who's going to think that a minister would lie to them? But she said she would swear on the Bible to win the game, but I don't know if that means that she'll lie and swear on the Bible, or that she'll only tell the truth and swear on the Bible. So I could see she has a lot of potential to be the first one evicted, just to not sort of ruffle any feathers within the group. I don't know exactly how she'll fit in well socially with the rest of the cast, but hopefully I'm wrong. She gets me a lot of points if she goes far in the game.
Yeah, who knows? We both had her ranked last, so she'll probably win.
So now that the draft is done, just going to do a quick recap. On Mitchell's team, we have Zach, Christine, Caleb, Amber, Paola, Nicole, and Victoria and Jocasta. So despite what I said earlier about females having a really tough time winning, I ended up with a lot of them on my team, so I'll be rooting for them.
You did say that you had a feeling that it was going to be a girl this season. So.
Always trust your gut.
Yeah. So that leaves on Michael's team Cody, Derek, Brittany, Joey, Hayden, Devin, Big Donnie, Frankie, and that's it. So my team obviously has all the guys, most of the guys, a lot of athletic dudes, hoping they can just rack up the competition points. Big Brother 16 kicks off tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on CBS. We'll be back next week to discuss everything that goes down in the first few episodes, update our point system. Thanks for joining us on the inaugural B2M2 podcast. For Mitch Machtinger, I'm Michael Hoad, and we'll talk to you next week.